Imagine out of the blue, you fall in love. You meet someone and you can literally feel the love coming off of them for you. And you feel an enormous amount of love like you've never felt before. The two of you have fallen in love like you read about. You start talking about spending the rest of your lives together. And then down the road, several months, they dump you. Further imagine that several months down the road, they come back. They make their apologies. They talk about having to do soul searching. And then some time goes by and they ask you to marry them. And you say yes. And then 5 months down the road, they dump you again. Well, friends, this happened to me. It happened in 2001 and 2002. And by then, I had been keeping a gratitude journal for over a year. So I had a well established gratitude practice. I continued to nightly write down things for which I was grateful, but I added the practice of writing lists for reasons why I was grateful that this person had come into my life. I had had my heart broken before, but not like this. And keeping the gratitude journal helped me to take the focus off of my pain. It didn't take my pain away, but it took the focus off of my pain. So, this is one reason why you might want to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. I'll give you another one. I took a 6 week solo road trip in a camper van in 2018, and I'd never done anything like this. It was the vacation of a lifetime. And yet, the van that I rented broke down so many times in the first 2.5 weeks that it saw four different mechanics, and the owner had to put over $2,000 worth of repairs in it. And I ended up having to ditch it in Arizona. And yet, despite not having the vacation of a lifetime, I was able to be grateful for things like I have internet access, I have a cell phone, I'm on the highway, strangers are helpful when you need them. So, cultivating this attitude of gratitude has really changed the perspective of my life. In addition, there have been times when I've been deeply depressed, and it's at these times when I think it's become the most handy. Either when tragedy happens, or unexpected disasters, or you're really not doing well in life. And what happened, especially during the times when I was depressed, was I started paying attention to things that I was really taking for granted. For example, I can read. I have access to clean water. I have food, clothing, and shelter. And these are things that I had taken for granted for a very long time. I was able to focus on what I had as opposed to what I didn't have. In other words, I took the focus off of lack and put it on abundance. And I credit my attitude of gratitude with the ability to do this. So I'd like to make some recommendations if you're interested in creating cultivating an attitude of gratitude. And that is to keep a gratitude journal. So I have recommendations for that. Number one, I recommend you do it in writing. There is something about the physical act of writing. In addition, you end up with evidence. So here are my over 35 gratitude journals that I've kept over the years. This is my very first one. My first entry was July 23rd, 2000. So last summer was my 20th anniversary of keeping a gratitude journal. And that brings me to my second point. In addition to writing, I recommend that you do it every single day. I happen to do it at night so that I can review my day. But it's the repetition, the consistency of doing it on a regular basis that is going to cultivate this attitude of gratitude. What happens for me is I walk around my day now and I'm like, oh, that's going in my gratitude journal. That's going in my gratitude journal. That's going in my gratitude journal. So you cultivate this stance of always seeking things for which to be grateful, in addition to at the end of the day, going back through your day and often spinning, reframing things because you're looking at them from a perspective of gratitude. And then my third recommendation is that to have a minimum number of entries that you should do every day. I learned to do 5 things every day for which I was grateful. And this was really important for me in the beginning because I didn't already have this attitude of gratitude. I needed to have that minimum number to reach because I needed to stretch myself to actively seek a certain number of things for which to be grateful. At this point, I now keep a minimum of 10 things per day on my list of gratitude for which I'm grateful because 5 has become so easy for me. And I want to stretch myself to make sure that I'm actively seeking things for which to be grateful. So I hope you have an understanding of why you might want to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. And as a reminder, my recommendations for doing that are 1, to do it in writing, 2, to do it every single day, and 3, to have a minimum number. Even if you don't want to start a gratitude practice every day in your life, I'm going to challenge you that just for tonight, that you go through your day today and you write down 5 things for which you're grateful and see what that does to your attitude.